too old. He is too old.
Yeah, I'm 30, and I want to rank all the Star Wars films from worst to best. With the Skywalker saga wrapping up, we have hit that interesting patch that we have hit twice before. Once after Return of the Jedi, and the other being after Revenge of the Sith. We have no idea what the next movie will be, or when that movie will actually happen. That's why it's a perfect time to rank all the movies, including the anthology films, from worst to best. We want everyone to keep in mind that this is just our personal opinion, and that everyone's list will be different from ours. Let's get started. Starting off our list is The Last Jedi. There's been enough said that we really don't have to go into it too much. I think that Rian Johnson has gotten enough criticism from the core Star Wars fanbase. We just don't agree with the decisions that he made. I found it personally insulting how Luke Skywalker was treated as a character. To have him demoted to a secondary character, and one that didn't follow his core beliefs in the original trilogy, and in the books what are now legends, was not the right way to handle his character. We could spend hours talking about our problems with this film, but we're just going to leave it at that, and start it at the bottom of our list. Next, we have The Force Awakens. When I first saw this film, I actually didn't mind it too much. Each additional time I saw it, I disliked it more and more. What I will say about this film, it introduced some characters that could have become interesting throughout the trilogy. I liked Poe as long as he wouldn't be sold as another Han Solo, which he was, and I liked the idea of Finn. The mystery of Rey's character added another layer for what could have become a great trilogy. However, do we really need another superweapon that can blow up planets? If there was something original to the movie instead of recycling old plots, it might have been higher, but because it failed to do that, it ends up at the bottom of our list. Solo is next on our list. My biggest problem with this film is that Han Solo didn't really feel like Han Solo. You could tell that they were trying to make this work, but there's no actor quite like Harrison Ford. He really embodied what made Han Solo so great. The story was meh. I didn't really find it that memorable. I don't really follow along with Disney in their attempt to make the dice such a big part of the story as well. They're just a prop. Hey Disney, not everything needs a backstory. Like his last name. That's how he gets his last name? Come on. The first movie from the original trilogy makes an appearance, and it's A New Hope. Now don't get mad at me because you have to realize what movies I grew up on. George Lucas always said that Star Wars was made for kids, and the prequels were made for me. That's why I don't hold the original film as close to my heart as some others might. You ever tried to watch it lately? It's not a great film for today's standards, but it's so nostalgic that I still enjoy it every time I watch it. The other anthology film is next, and it's Rogue One. I like this movie. I went into the theater with low expectations, but came out talking about that one Vader scene at the end of the film for weeks. I still get chills talking about it. There's so many interesting points to this film too. The one that really sticks out was Vader's castle. That was awesome, and seeing him return to his evil form really gave me goosebumps. People feared Vader again, and it had a lot of fan service to the film too. I love how it transitioned right into A New Hope as well. I hope that future anthologies, if they ever make any more, will take notes from this film and follow their blueprint. Attack of the Clones is next, and in my opinion, is the worst of the prequel trilogy. Again, that's not to say I didn't like it. I can see people's complaints within the film. Yes, the Anakin and Padme romance was very boring and extremely corny. But I still get chills whenever I pop this movie in, and the Battle of Geonosis begins. My favorite part of the prequels was the world building that George Lucas incorporated. The galaxy felt lived in, and with all the Jedi that appeared in the arena, and the two duels at the end, amazing. Maybe those scenes cloud my perception of the film, but I don't care. I loved it. The final film of the Skywalker saga takes the next spot on our list, Rise of Skywalker. If you watched our review of the film, you know our opinion on the movie. It wasn't perfect, but I don't think there was anything that they could have done to fix the mistakes that plagued the trilogy from the beginning. You could tell that everything was rushed, but there was so much fan service to this film. We finally had a great lightsaber duel, and seeing the Emperor again brought back so many memories. I think there were some missed opportunities in this film, but overall, it was a pretty dang good Star Wars film. The final movie of the original trilogy, Return of the Jedi, is next. This is a film that still holds today. The progression that we see of Luke was perfect. You could tell straight from the beginning that he really grew into his powers, compared to what we saw at the end of Empire Strikes Back. From the beginning of this movie, George Lucas wasted no time getting to the cliffhanger of Han Solo being frozen in carbonite, and that's what hooked me on this film right away. Then, the final moments in the throne room introduced the Emperor as a character to fear, and made him a great character in the prequels. The end was perfect and set up the books, what is now Legends, very nicely. Starting off our top 3 is the Phantom Menace.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Hey, funny guy!
I know, we are told to hate this movie. But do you really hate it? Yes, there's Jar Jar and midichlorians, but this is a great film. The pod racing scene was crazy to watch when I was young, and the N64 game continues to be a regular inhabitant in my N64. Then we have Darth Maul, one of the most recognizable characters in all of film, along with his double-sided lightsaber. This also introduced a new kind of lightsaber battle that really set the standard for what they should look like. Again, I'll say, and I'll ask again. You were told to hate this film, but do you really hate it? The second best Star Wars film of all time is The Empire Strikes Back. Truthfully, you can pretty much flip this to number 1, and I wouldn't blink. We finally got an inside look for what it means to train as a Jedi. We get introduced to Yoda, as crazy as he is, and we see the trio of Chewbacca, Han, and Leia flourish. Everything about this movie is nearly perfect. The pacing had constant action with enough room for us to really care about these characters. I don't need to say any more about the lightsaber duel with Vader and Luke as I did in yesterday's video. The best Star Wars film of all time is Revenge of the Sith. This movie is unbelievable. This is the first Star Wars movie that my brother took me to in theaters, and I remember it to this day. I was blown away by the constant lightsaber battles. To this point, we would get 1, maybe 2 in the films. Felt like I was seeing a lightsaber battle every 10 minutes. And I loved Hayden Christensen. I thought his portrayal as Anakin was great, and it does not deserve the criticism that he gets from diehard fans of the original trilogy. The character arc that we got from him from Episode 1 to Episode 3 was one of great sadness. We knew that there would be no happy ending to this trilogy, but I think it was ended perfectly. This just gets me all the more excited to see Ewan McGregor play Obi-Wan again. That's my list, but I'm sure yours is different. Let us know in the comments what your ranking of the Star Wars films are. Like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video.
I'm getting too old for this sort of thing.